Hey everybody, it's Edgewind here from Petted Sword Productions, and I'm here with another Edges Cutting review. Now, this sword you might recognize. This is the Swords of Northshire Tactical Wakizashi. Now, if you haven't seen that video, it's in our playlist of videos. Go out and check it out. It's really, really cool review. One of my first sword reviews. And for this tabletop, I would definitely like to bring it here because it's pretty important to what's coming up. And one of the things about Swords of Northshire that I just fell in love with right away was the ability to customize your sword. Now, with the Tactical Wakizashi, your options are going to be a little limited because it is a stock sword. It's just, several swords that they have, just in their category. So your options are going to be limited. Like this, I got the matte sheath, I got the green Sageo, green Ito, and of course, I got the custom engraving on the blade. Let me make sure I point that at you so you can read it. Custom engraving on the blade. Yep, there it is. And it's pretty standard steel. This is 1060 high carbon steel. It's been folded and whatnot. It's gone through the traditional forging process that you expect from swords of this caliber, which is in no way a bad thing. This is a great sword and it's a great buy. However, if you want a sword that screams just you or a certain kind of theme, Swords of Northshire can definitely make that happen for you. They have a create your own sword feature on their website, and if you have not seen it or gone to the website, I highly recommend going to that, and it's going to be right on their front page because it's a really big deal. Customize your own sword, and they mean customize from every single option. And I've noticed that a lot of other websites that I frequent that have swords are kind of starting to jump on the bandwagon, and I feel like Swords of Northshire is leading the way. Now, I may be wrong, but this is just from the websites that I peruse. It's just starting to go towards designing your own sword. There's nothing wrong with buying a stock sword. I have a lot of stock swords that are great works of art. But when you can make a sword all about you, then it becomes really special. And that brings us to the review today. I'm going to put this right there. This is the Swords of Northshire Custom Katana. Now, this is fully designed from the ground up by me, right out of my brain. This has a custom wrap here. I went with the quote-unquote battle wrap. I don't know the Japanese terminology, and I apologize for those of you who do. If you do know the terminology for that, just let me know. The furniture on this, I chose myself. The sheath, it was chosen by me. The Sageo color and all that. But what's really exciting is the blade steel. Now, I'll talk about the sheath a little more in a minute because that's an interesting story in itself. But the steel here, this is 9260 spring steel. And this is one of several options they have. They have 1060 steel, 1095, 9260, and a couple of different clay tempered steels. And most awesomely of all, they have Tamahagane. Now, for those of you who do not know, Tamahagane is a very, very high quality sword steel. It has to be made from ore that's taken out of mountains and riverbeds, and it takes about 3 days and 3 nights just to make the raw steel, and then a couple of months to forge the sword out of that stuff. So that sword is probably going to run you about $3,700 on average. This was about... Actually, to get let me go back here. To get a custom sword in general, they're 1060 steel like the Tactical Wakizashi. That's the standard steel they offer, and that runs at $189. Now, as you choose the steel, the price goes up. Your base price is always going to be $189, but the quality of the steel changes the price by so much. And 9260 spring steel brings it up to an extra $90. So, with all the other customizations and everything, it brought it to about $305, which is great for, that kind of steel. That's a pretty good price, and the shipping was free. However, you can choose your hamon. This is not one of their authentic hamons. This is an etched hamon, but it's very beautiful. They have it in a couple of different styles. This is the irregular hamon, It's not the uniform wave like you see in a lot of others, or even the straight line. This is a little more unique, which I love. They have a couple of different sharpening options. If you are getting a sword for the dojo that you do not want to be sharp, you can get it, unsharpened, which is perfect for anyone who's using like an Iaido. If you want it for light cutting, they have a light cutting sharpness option, what some people call razor sharp, even though that's not really an appropriate term for swords. And then they have sharp with Niku, which is for heavy cutting, and that is a certain kind of sharpening technique that kind of rounds the edge a little bit and allows it to make much more difficult cuts, and that would be good for tatamis of different thicknesses, or if you're backyard dojoing it, you could use bottles of water, that kind of thing. And this is just going to stand up. When you use the heavy sharpness with Niku, that's what I went with. You feel it. Like, I have a lot of sharp blades, but when I felt the edge on this, my caution level went through the roof, because this is probably the sharpest thing I've got. But what was really cool among all the options is an engraving option. And they say you have a couple of different options. On the tag of the blade, you can get your name, you can get the forger's name in either English, Japanese, or Chinese, because these swords come out of Langkuang, China, which is an area that is known for making very high-quality swords. Or on the blade, you can get your name in English, Japanese, or Chinese. Or you can get a custom symbol. Now, I thought I would see just how much they were willing to say, custom is custom. So, for the sword, let's see here. For the sword, on one side, you can see I've got the kanji for loyalty. Can you see that?
Yep.
Alright, right there. Which is pretty standard. They said they can do that no problem. Now, if you want a custom symbol, it's going to be like an extra $25 or something, which is not that bad. But I thought I would test the limits. Now, as many of you know, I am a total Brony and Rainbow Dash's best pony. So, I thought I would give them a challenge. I sent them a picture and a request. Now, yes, is the camera seeing that?
Yep.
That is Rainbow Dash's cutie mark. I sent them a picture, and they managed to engrave Rainbow Dash's cutie mark on this blade, which I didn't think they were going to be able to do it. I sent the request in with the picture, and I was waiting for an email from customer service to say, we just can't do this. This is too complicated to shape, whatever reason. And nope, they did it. But every part of this sword is customizable. Your fuchi, your kashira, the seppa, everything. It's all customizable from a couple of different colors right here. You can choose the pommel, how that you want that to look. You can choose whether or not you want fuchi, right? Not fuchi. Gotta get my terms wrong tonight. But you can determine whether or not you want furniture in the handle, as some swords do, like the tactical wakizashi here. In the handle, some say that improves grip. I won't say one way or another. I think that's all preference. But you can choose whether or not you want that in the handle. You can choose the handle wrap color, and as I've shown here, the style. You can choose the style of tsuba. Once again, like with my tactical wakizashi, I went with a very minimalist tsuba style. And you can choose the sheath. Now, here's where things get interesting, and I want to give a big shout out to Bryce of customer service. Dude, you were awesome. Customer service, when you email them with a question, they're usually emailing you back within 24 hours. I'd even go so far as to say 12 hours. They were just that prompt. They were clear on everything. They made the whole experience just a total joy. But I said, I noticed on their website that they mentioned a catalog of additional sword options, and I couldn't find a catalog to order anywhere, a little thing on the website to order a catalog. So I sent them an email and asked if they had a catalog I could get from them, and they emailed it to me along with an Excel sheet so I could design my own sword from the catalog and then submit that Excel file to them, and they could give me an estimate on how much that sword was going to cost, because they got more blade styles than what you see here. They have the standard 3 sizes, katana, wakizashi, and tanto, when you're designing your custom sword. However, if you want a custom length, if you want, say, a wakizashi style blade and a katana handle, they'll be able to do that for you. If you're looking to get an odachi or nagimaki, they can make those things for you. You just have to be willing to pay the extra price for the blade length. The shorter the blade length, the less money you'll have to pay, which is always nice. But keep in mind, you're also going to have to factor that in with the quality of the steel. So, as I spoke to Bryce, Bryce sent me the files and whatnot, and I took a look through. And that brings me to the sheath. Originally, I was just going to go with a black matte sheath with blue Sageo, but I was looking through their options, and they had this sheath, which, as you know in my last video, I said I'm not a big fan of lacquer, but this just jumped out at me because it's just something I haven't seen before. This beautiful blue speckled pattern, and if you look at it real closely, like I took the time to with a flashlight, and I got my face real close, this stuff actually glitters in the light as it moves. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you want your sword to truly be you, and for whatever reason, if you are not satisfied with the options that are presented to you on the website, send them an email and they will be more than happy to accommodate you with that catalog and the Excel file so you can truly make the custom sword that you want. Now, this is going to be the first of several swords. Me and Ruiner, obviously both bronies, and he's not as big into weapons as I am, but he has a passing interest. So we're going to design a couple more swords and order them, and I'm going to see if I can use a couple different kinds of steel, one for each different sword, to just to show you the level of quality differences. I'm not saying Swords of Northshire has poor quality. I just want to show you how the different steels look. And each one of these swords will be themed. One's definitely going to be Fluttershy themed for Ruiner's Best Pony. We're going to make an Applejack themed one because of a YouTube video that kind of inspired me on that one. I think that's called Rhythm Pony. That's what it's called.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's called Rhythm Pony. If you look on YouTube, you'll find it. It's an awesome little video. And we'll probably make as many themed blades as we can, and I'm going to try and make them in different sizes. We have your standard issue katana here. We'll definitely have another katana or two, but we're definitely going to make a wakizashi and a tanto. And if we decide to splurge our money together, we might make an odachi. But that's all for this video. Please check out Swords of Northshire. There will be links in the description, and maybe photos if I can figure out how to do it, or even I'll put them at the end of this video. That's not a promise. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something from this, and I hope you definitely shop at Swords of Northshire to get that sword that's definitely all about you. Thanks for watching. Offend us, Iris.